Already.
Now it's turbulent times out there, and I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about inside the West Ham dressing room. I managed to get through that without laughing, which is quite amusing. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. A storm Dara batters the southwest. Seems like Jean-Claire Todibo is battering Julian Lopetegui in the dressing room at half-time. Only at West Ham. I hope you are all well. We're here to discuss West Ham versus Wolves, where I think it's pretty certain to assume whoever loses is getting the sack. It is the ultimate El Sacico that you've ever seen in the world. Gary O'Neill or Julian Lopetegui will get sacked as a result of this game on Monday night. Sky are gutted that they've put this game on telly because it's going to be absolutely dreadful. And we are here to discuss it. Larry, Mike, John, and Cohen's there somewhere. I think there he is. How are we? How are we, guys?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Jolly good. Jolly good. Of course, we are Nigel-less tonight because he is in New York, just in case you didn't know. So,
where's he at? Where's he at? He's where? I didn't know he was going to New York.
New York, Larry. Did he not tell you?
You
I
missed
didn't
that,
know.
Larry. Must have missed that.
Must have missed it 50 million times that he told us he was going. But anyway, yeah, Wolves on Monday, another Monday night. We've got another one against Bournemouth in a couple of weeks again. But Mike, do you know what? I'm really not bothered.
It's going to be a weird one, isn't it? All the Wolves fans want to lose, and all the West Ham fans want to lose to get rid of the manager. But personally, I don't want us ever to lose a game. So, I want us to win. At the end of the day, he's going to probably go sometime because I can't see him turning it around now. What's happened behind the scenes. You don't come back from that, Jake. You just don't come back from things like that. I'd be shocked if it does turn around from after something like that happens. Because, players probably out of order doing what he's done. But, for it to happen, there's something really wrong. There's got to be something bad. There's got to be something really smelly going on.
And I try to think what the tone and what the sort of atmosphere around the training ground and dressing room has been like now. Light has been shone on what's happened, and Larry, it's hard to look past. I'm going to do a video a little bit later dissecting it in more detail, so I'm going to go into it too much. But I mean, you can't not talk about it because of the severity and pure implication that this has going into a game which effectively is either going to save or surrender his job.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, he should have been gone on Tuesday. And I think I've been the one more reserved on talking about Lopetegui and all this because I always said until I see the players kind of give up on him, then I'm not going to do that. Because even when we were getting battered in that second half of the Arsenal game, and Arsenal was just doing time management, they really weren't pressing us hard. But we saw the players really, really try hard. But in the second half of that Leicester City match, I really once they brought the 64th minute, we brought on like Antonio and Paquet and all that. I honestly started seeing some players looking like they were not giving it their all. And then you saw Bowen, when the ball would go out for a goal kick, talking to himself, very frustrated and angry. And I think they are on there. And I think just whatever tactics that Lopetegui has tried to implement with them, they're not picking it up because they were clueless out there. With no clinical moves down there with 161 passes around the box, one goal. So I hope this is nothing like we do back with Moyes. You know how we do that roller coaster. He win one match, all right, let's give him 3 more and all this. And this has nothing to do with Moyes, but this is what Sullivan does. Sullivan looks for excuse not to to sack a manager and stuff like that. He should have been done now. I want us to win on Monday, but I still think he needs to go. all respect to him for what he's done, but he's not motivating these players. And I have a perfect. We can talk later if you want. I have one manager I would really want to go after.
Well, there we go. We're going to come on to that a little bit later. Cohen, can he turn this around?
No. I will say something. I bet you we will win on Monday, and then it'll go over and over again. So it'll be like, I can see us getting beat to Bournemouth. We'll get beat. Oh yeah, we'll get beat to Bournemouth on Saturday.
No, following Monday.
Following Monday. We'll lose to Brighton and we'll beat Southampton. See?
Yeah. And it will just go around and around and around and around again. Because the thing is, I want him to go as well, because I want to get a good manager who doesn't fall out with players. Because Tadibo said if he stays, then he won't. Obviously, he's on loan now. He said he won't join permanently.
It's a real tough one, John. I mean, it's that vicious circle that Cohen just alluded to. So then after Southampton, we'll lose to Liverpool, we'll lose to City, we'll beat Fulham, we'll lose to Palace, we'll lose to Villa, we'll lose to Chelsea, we'll beat Brentford. And it goes round and round and round in circles. Sullivan has to sack him.
He does. But then if the reports are true of what they were saying about like the offers of what they were putting out to the lots of Potter and things like that, like a 6-month deal, and like nobody wanted it, that just sounds like David Sullivan all over to me. You know, it really does. Like, and let's face it, the whole reason of why we've got Lopetegui is because he was free. He wasn't attached to no one, right? Instead of doing what most people would do in like the way of, look, if you're going to get rid of someone like Moyes, let's try and progress. I'm not saying that half these people might have come, but why not go to Brentford and test them for Thomas Frank? Why not go to Bournemouth and test them for Iraola? It's just that Sullivan mentality all over. So, and that's a problem for me. It's everyone can blame the manager and things like that, which obviously you will do when they're playing on the pitch, but it goes much deeper than that, though.
It does. And Mike, it's, and we'll come on to specifics about the game in a minute, but we just need to have this overarching conversation to start with, because I'm finding it tough to focus on that game and really try and analyse it because of everything else that is going on. And now we've learned as well, David Moyes did the Overlap podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he referenced the offer that was then withdrawn from David Sullivan, which epitomises everything about that situation that we needed to know as well. He's handled it dreadfully, both with the end of Moyes and with this whole Lopetegui debacle over the last couple of weeks. It's not been handled well, and we're seeing the detriment of it. Now, I think Tadibo is completely and utterly in the wrong, and I feel, listen, we don't know the ins and outs of it, but putting that to the side, there's no coming back from this for Lopetegui. None whatsoever.
I don't think there is, but you're right, John. I mean, it starts at the top. And, we got who wanted Lopetegui? Who really wanted him? The fans didn't really want him, but he doesn't care. He was the cheap option. He was available. And you know what he'd do? If he does get rid of him, he'd replace him with the same sort of thing. So it ain't going to change. That's the problem. Those things ain't going to change. I just think if it is true what's happened, I just can't see the guy coming back from that. He's not going to, he's going to have. You're right, Jake. Tadibo shouldn't have done that, but it's happened, and there's a reason why it's happened. Do you know what I mean? The right sort of manager wouldn't have any of that going on.
No.
Can you imagine? Billy Bonds being in charge and something like that happening? Flipping hell, mate.
Could you imagine even go back a few years? Could you imagine that happening under Big Sam? Could you imagine that happening under Bilic? Right? No, of course not.
Not in a million years. Never, ever. I might sound stupid, but I want a guy we can at least understand when he's doing his bloody, pre-match stuff and that. I don't. I know all those players are different nationalities and whatever, but the fans want to be able to hear what he's saying properly. I know it's a stupid little thing, but that, honestly, mate, doesn't help. And the way he talks and the way I've heard him talking, he don't really breathe a lot of confidence from me. at all. So, yeah, you know, I don't know what I reckon. That game Monday could end up being, we could get a result, and you're right, and it just drag on again, So, yeah, I don't want, like I said, I don't ever want to see us lose, but I think if we do lose that game, I think then Sullivan will be under a lot of pressure, and the fans are going to put him under a lot of pressure.
Absolutely.
Got to go.
Wolves are in similarly murky waters as they
God.
suffered a 4-0 loss away from home at Everton midweek, sacked in the morning chants at Goodison Park as well as at the King Power. So they're not in a great vein of form either. They've only lost 2 since October, which is noticeable. They've had a slight upturn in form, but it's dramatically dropped off this week. They're not a good side either. But what I'm going to say, Larry, we'll come on to stat attack a little bit later, but what I'm going to say is they've got a bit of pace, right? And defensively, for us, Cunha, all those players, I don't see us keeping them at bay.
No, yeah, Kunis, man, you watch some of his stuff. He's just a brilliant ball player with the ball. How he passes, how he shoots, how he scores. He's so smooth. It's going to be a very difficult day for our defense with that. And like you said, Jake, they do score. I think they got like 22, 23 goals, but they give up a lot too. But again, at the end of the day, how are they going to defend us? One thing you can kind of give credit to Leicester City for was they were really playing like 4 tight in the box. It was like a 4-4-2 once they scored, but we didn't spread them out. So they can give up all the goals they want, but if we can't finish or we can't get a clean shot on net and stuff like that, it's going to be a long day for us. This is a kind of challenge. It's kind of frustrating. We were hoping by the 15th week we would be struggling and fighting with people to be at the mid-table around the 7th through 10th, not fighting down to relegation. That's not where you want to be. You don't want to be on a Monday night match and people are making fun of your team because you're playing 2 teams that are down in the relegation area. So it's kind of an embarrassing thing. And if we don't turn it around, and I'm like with Mike, I don't ever want to go against West Ham. I want to go with it there. But what I saw on Tuesday with that match in that second half, these players should have some. They can't give up. If they've given up on the manager or the coach, it's one thing. But don't give up on the club and the fans and the badge, man. Go out there and still fight hard for it, and then let the chips fall where they may. Because we know last year there's no guarantee he's going to be sacked. So don't. I can't believe these professionals will actually flop and not try hard. It's almost like deliberately trying to lose. I hope it's not the case. The effort's not there. He's not motivating the people. But it's no gimme on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost the dressing room. That's the first and simple, most obvious point to say. John, Wolves are a strange side. They've shifted 36 goals this season, the most out of any team in the Premier. But they've also scored them as well. They've scored 22. They've been involved in a lot of rather high-scoring games. So it's more of a case of defensively inept, which, I mean, we've conceded 27, so we're not far off. But yeah, I mean, they are where they are, 19th for a reason. Only, Southampton propping up the Premier League. So they're in a tough sort of position as well.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I sort of felt that Wolves overachieved a bit like last year. I mean, like that they had the bit when they first come back into the Premier League, obviously fair bit of money there, buying like a lot of Portuguese players, and each season goes past and they seem to be just keep selling, obviously like a load, and not really spending a great deal of money back into the club. I think it's only going to be a matter of time before they do finally go, and whether it's this season, it wouldn't surprise me. But so they come with like their own problems. But I think you're right. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't fancy us playing against Cohen Sunday League side and not keeping a clean sheet, to be fair. I really wouldn't. So and
Cohen, that's no disrespect to your Sunday League team either.
We're A-League.
There you go.
Very good.
But you generally wouldn't beat my JPL team.
Yeah, but yeah. So but yeah, no, and like you say, like going forward, they have got goals in them. Like as you say, I mean, like they've even got Everton's joint top goal scorer playing centre back. So it's you just never.
And that is a really good segue on to my favourite player in living existence, who will be returning to the London Stadium. We're going to ignore the brace of own goals that he scored the other night, because he is the absolute epitome of a legend. Right there is big Craig Dawson, who should get a firm and resounding clap from the home fans on Monday night. And what we do for him at the club right now defensively, barring his own goals, what we do for him in his West Ham prime to solidify and consolidate that backline. But Wolves, Cohen, I mean, it's two really bad teams, let's be honest. West Ham and Wolves at the moment, two really bad teams. And it's difficult to predict who's going to be worse, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, obviously both fans obviously don't want to win, because they want their manager to get the sack. And I mean, Wolves are good attackingly a little bit with Matheus Cunha. I mean, the way Albie cuts in and hits that ball is brilliant. But the thing I think is, I think Wolves are a little bit shaky at the back, and they concede a lot of goals. That's the same with us. I think we've got a good back line, but we just don't like connect it together really. And we have such good strike force. Like, we have Bowen, Somerville, Paqueta, Fulkrug, everything like that. And we just don't put the ball in the back of the net. We're not clinical enough for it. And also, it's a bit like weird in a way of, like, we're not doing our job. Like, we'll lose it in the middle of the park a lot.
It's very disjointed, Cohen, isn't it? The way we play, in terms of there's no like idea between transition between defensively and midfield and then going forward. I do wonder what they do on the training ground all week.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, but just going back to like the actual game, it just always amazes me how Sky just seem to randomly pick a game like this. Now, how did they pick this game like 2 months ago, and then know that both managers are going to be up against each other for the sack? It just
unbelievable, isn't it?
You know, because there's no way, if you look down like them 10 games like this weekend, any other weekend, like you would go, I can't wait to watch Wolves.
Honestly, it's not the showcase game that needs the hour and a half build up they give it on Monday Night Football. They're going to be sick. Carragher's going to be sick of us. He's got to watch this week, then he's got to watch next.
It's all going to be over like the Merseyside derby again, isn't it? And everything else, isn't it?
There we go. There we go. But hey ho, I mean, last time we were on that Sky thing, they all laughed at us and we won. So yeah, listen, Mike, I agree with you. Do we really want to win this game and prolong the pain? I don't know. Is it really worth a just completely irrelevant win against a really bad team? It's going to be a woeful game. We know that. Let's take some comments, and then we're going to go to our favourite part of the show. So get ready. A certain somebody. He's lost the dressing room. He's a dead man walking. He should have gone after the Everton game. Whatever happens on Monday, he's got to go. Once stay away. Fans turn. You're absolutely when the fans turn, and they have well and truly done that is for sure. Mike, hope you are well. The under-18s have just gone behind to Grimsby for half-time. Peter, I hope you are well. Kilman looks like he's playing in flippers. He's last couple of games he's been incredibly poor. Kilman acting like he's playing for Maidstone United. Yeah, he'd probably get in there. He'd probably be at that level right now, if we're being totally honest.
The problem was, I mean, at Newcastle, he was excellent.
Yeah,
he did put a foot wrong, Kilman. But the thing is, when we go to Newcastle, I think we played a stupid high line, and those two centre backs turn like the bloody QE2. I've seen Milk turn quicker, mate. Honestly,
go on,
they
Mike.
haven't got any pace, neither of them.
I mean,
you know, and we played this high line, but at Newcastle, we sat back a little bit deeper.
We
and
did.
That suits Kilman because he's good on the ball. He can read the game, but he's all right if he's looking him in the eye. If he's got to turn and go,
turned,
once he's turned, that's it. He's done. You know, he is done. I reckon I still think he's a really good player, but you need someone alongside him with a bit of pace.
Yeah,
really do.
Yeah. No, and also Mavropanos next to anybody, I don't know, would just that would,
Worries.
I mean, like you could put Mavropanos next to Franco Baresi, and like, I think he would turn into Max Kilman. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Honestly, that whole defensive Mavropanos highline performance the other night was dreadful.
awful.
We
Yeah,
are
but
going to
if
move
you-
on. Go on,
Honestly,
Mike.
if you watch him, Mavropanos playing for Greece, and
Yeah.
Greece defend on the edge of their 6-yard box most of the game, he's brilliant at that.
Yeah.
He's really good at that. So
Yeah.
he's just not suited to playing that higher line. And
who'd have thought
one
it?
of them can see it, but
Yeah.
why can't the managers see it?
Who would have thought
100%.
it? Right. So Mike is familiar, of course. Larry is familiar with this. So this is now. So John and Kern, this is part of the show. I'm going to start playing some music. This is my favourite part of the show because we are now going. Right, Mike, are you ready for the music?
Oh yeah, bring it
You
on.
ready? Come on, let's have it. Right, let's get us in the mood. Right. We're now going to go over. If I could scroll up to the one, the only. It's time. There he is. I still haven't changed the graphic. It's time to go to Larry's Scatter Pack. Fire away, Larry.
All right, everybody. Just a quick overview. We talked about some of the Philly West End sit at 14th, and the Wolves sit at 19th right now. We have 15 points. They have 9. We played the Wolves overall 16 times, and out of the 16 times, we've won 8, drew 1, and lost 7. Out of
That's
those
better
8,
than normal, Larry.
I was going to say we should look up from this. Other ones were getting even worse, so this is a little bit better. And we've won 5 out of those 8. We've won 5 at home. In the last couple matches here, like I think you talked about there, the Wolves has given up 8 goals in the last 2 matches. Dawson had 2, and I was kind of trying to yell at him to save some of them old goals for next week, so when we play them, so we could get one of those, but we didn't. So, like I said, right now, as we discussed, their leading scorer is Kuna with 7 goals, and he also has 3 assists. It kind of goes back to we were talking to another player last week or a couple weeks ago, how much he's involved in their scoring. They got 22 goals overall, and he's involved in 10 of them. He's just somebody, I think, a person we really got to pay attention to. And the sad part about this is every week I come up with these stats, and Bowen's still sitting as our leading scorer at 3. So I think we need some more goals from the boys coming out on Monday and stuff like that. Again, their total goals they've scored is 22. They've given up 36. Jake hit it on the head right there. One big stat is they've given up more goals than anybody in the league with 36. We can get up the pitch. Can we be clinical enough maybe to take advantage of that? If not, it could be like Leicester City. So, again, in head-to-head, we talked about that. The last 5 matches, we are 1-1-3, and they're 2-1-2. Again, we talked about they lost their last 2. Won to Everington 4-0, lost to Bournemouth 4-2. They beat Fulham 4-1. And then beat Southampton, and then drew to Crystal City. So they're on a little bit of a downward spiral the last 2 matches, and so are we. So it should be an interesting match.
Thank you very much,
Larry.
Larry. There we go. I'll tell you what, they're getting more extensive and more action packed the more the weeks go on. By the end of the season, Larry, the whole show's going to be your stat attack.
I'm sorry, I cut short. You hit on some good points that were on there, so I like that. You must have done some research.
Sorry, I missed.
No!
Sorry, I took your fame.
No, you didn't. I was like, okay, Jake's getting the numbers. I like it.
Well, I thought I can't be showed up every week, can I? So I thought I better bring something to it. No, Larry, that is perfect. Thank you very much for that. So now that segues us on to predictions. Right, now this is the part of the show where I get in this gentleman's head and nick his prediction. So if a prediction is said, you can't say it again. So the same prediction can't be said twice. So whoever goes last really does pick the short straw, and that's never me because I run it. So I never pick the short straw, funnily enough.
It's my show.
It's my show, my rules. I don't care. I've got a feeling Larry is going to be going last today, or Mike.
Okay.
Usually it's Nigel, but no, I'm going to go Larry because no, actually, Mike, I've still got this receipt here, right?
Oh Lord.
I've still got this receipt here. 1 Mars Bar Duo and 1 Walker's Prawn Cocktail that I bought in, right? John Cohen, I get called stingy, right? Because I never buy these lot anything. I've got photographic evidence, right? There's Mike with his Mars Bar and his Prawn Cocktail crisps that I bought for him. There's his sausage roll that he didn't have to pay for, right? So, Mike, you can go last this week, just for the last.
I knew I'd get back to that. Ask him how much the sausage roll cost.
Shh.
That's right.
So I'm going to go for West Ham 1, Wolves 0, which I think is going to be a rather popular prediction tonight.
Really?
So nobody else can take that. John and Cohen, fight between yourselves.
He can go first. I'm going to let him. I really
Aw.
know.
2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. That would have been a popular one. Yeah, you took Larry's. Cohen.
Come on, you on. I'm betting. 2-0, yeah? But it'll be 3-0.
Huh?
It'll be 3-0, yeah? But we'll get this slab by VAR, so it'll be 2-0.
2-0. Right, there we go. So we've had 2-0.
I'll tell you the goals.
Go on.
No, not Somerville. Kudos. And Danny Ings come on 95th
Danny
minute.
Ings. Love it.
Great. Nothing like Granny Ings coming in for a
Love
goal.
it. Right, so we've had 1-0. We've had 2-1. Have we had 2-1?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
free. No,
Yeah.
I'll go 3-0 actually. I want Craig Balland Dawson will
Right,
score
okay.
one goal. I think it's
Right, this is confusing the hell out of me now.
Yeah, I know.
This is-
I know. Like,
Own
you said
half.
about 4 different scores already.
Okay. 3-0. Kudos will score. Top corner outside the box. Then Bowen will score just a scrappy tap in. No, not
Oh,
Bowen.
God, no, look.
Oh,
Right,
right, that'll do. That'll do.
3-0.
right, that's it. Done.
3-0. Right, so we've got 1-0, 3-0, and John, what did you go for?
3-1.
2-1. Right, Larry?
You know, a little strange, but I thought I'm going to go 3-2 West Ham. I think if you know, I was the positive person in the Newcastle game. I
Lights
remember
it
that, right? So I'm saying 3-2. I think it's going to be we're not going to keep a clean sheet. We all know that. And then
Right.
just looking at their attack, we're going to get nicked on a breakaway. So I say 3-2 West Ham.
Well, Mike, to be fair, it's not too much of a short straw because it's an obvious prediction you can go for, right?
Yep.
To be totally honest, I was going to say 3-2. You know, I went 3-2 for the last game, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
No, Larry pinched mine, but I'll tell you what, both teams, their fans want them to lose. You know what's going to happen? It'll be a Desmond.
Yeah.
2-2.
Yeah,
There
there
we
you
go.
go.
So there's all the predictions in. I didn't pick Mike's one, which rather annoyed me, to be quite frank. But next week, Mike. Right, a few comments before we go. 2-1 to the Wanderers. There we go. 3-1 win. Oh, we'll come back to that. Yeah, how is the Secret Santa buying going, lads? Are they in the post?
Let me tell you something.
Larry.
I shipped it off yesterday.
Yeah.
And I told your dad, I said, I could have flew there, delivered it in person. It would have been cheaper.
How much was it?
Oh, over $100.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Joke.
I am not joking you.
No.
Question must be massive.
It's not.
$100.
And that's a little,
$100.
it's above that too. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. But I was like, well, I got to do it for the team. Yeah.
Oh, Larry, if it was that,
Larry.
I would have said don't bother.
Oh,
Oh, Larry,
no,
that is
no,
amazing. That is dedication.
Oh.
$100.
And 123 to be exact.
Bloody hell.
That's a lot of beer tokens, mate. That is. That's a lot of beer tokens.
and it's like a small buy. Trust me, it's not, you know.
Is it
I'm
heavy?
okay.
Is it heavy?
No.
It's not heavy. How is it $123?
I almost reached across the thing of the postal guy and strangled him. I'll tell you that. It was like, I was like, it ain't even that expensive what's in the box. Holy cow! But it's for a good cause. It's going to be fun. So I just said, me and the wife laughed about it last night. But yeah,
Well, I'm glad she laughed about it.
Yeah.
Not something else. Yeah. Larry, that is absolutely brilliant. Kudos
I gave her
to you.
I gave her a glass of wine before I told her about the shit.
You're right there.
See,
I tell you what.
Laugh there though, Jake. Is Larry saying about $123, and you're holding up a receipt for a Mars bar.
Yeah.
£8 that receipt
I'm
was.
Don't forget the packet of crisps.
Baguette of grits.
Oh,
Oh dear. Oh my god. Well, Larry, I do hope did you send it priority shipping or did you send it normal?
Postal service prior. It's just not. It was because I had a couple weeks, so I was like, it can take whatever. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be express. That's why I set it yesterday. So no, it's just.
Well, I blimmin' hope it gets it.
Yeah, well,
Use Royal Mail.
Oh dear. Well, there we go. Right, we'll wrap things up there. Jake will be talking about spending just under £8 at the services in 20 years' time. I can actually tell you it was £7.65 of my money that went out of my bank account there. Right. And Larry, you've made me feel a little bit bad now. You've said 100.
I did it on my own. I like it's a good thing once a year.
Larry, send Jake the receipt. He will pay for it, will he? Christ alive. Well, I mean, we'll come back to that next week when we've got a full house. We'll come back to that.
He's sweating now.
It was only an innocent Secret Santa. I didn't mean for it to cost £130, but anyway, right, we'll come back to that next week. John, Cohen, Larry, Mike, pleasure as always. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Have a fantastic weekend. And what's the best thing about it, Mike?
Whoa, we got a football-free weekend, mate. Yeah.
West Ham can't ruin it.
I thought the same thing. I won't have a bad day tomorrow. It'll be good.
West Ham can't ruin it. From us,
Again.
come on, you
Come
Irons.
on, you Irons.
And you never know, in light of what's happened this week, I might go around and just punch Mike in the dressing room. Like in the West Ham official dressing room. I might just go around, give him a right hook. And he'll give me a left back.
That's right.
Thanks, everybody. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you guys.